Chosen one. Have you ever wondered why your presence seems to unsettle certain people or situations? You were not brought to this moment by chance. If something deep within you is urging you to keep listening, it is because an important truth is beginning to unfold. There is something within you that naturally reveals what others would rather keep hidden, and once you fully recognize that truth, your understanding of your life will never be the same again. Stay with this message until the end. Do not let this moment pass unnoticed, because what you are about to discover can open the door to a deeper sense of clarity, stronger protection, and greater favor than you have experienced before. These words are meant specifically for you, and the urgency you feel in your spirit is not without purpose. Type AMEN if this message speaks to your heart. The world around you often encourages distraction instead of truth. It rewards appearances over authenticity and constantly pulls attention away from the deeper purpose for which you were created. Yet something inside you has begun to awaken. This awakening is not ordinary. It is the quiet realization that your life carries meaning beyond what you once believed. And that realization changes the way you see everything around you. As your awareness grows, the patterns that once kept you trapped in fear, uncertainty, and silence begin to lose their influence. The forces that depended on your hesitation no longer have the same hold over you because you are learning to recognize your true identity. That is why your presence often creates unexpected reactions. Without trying to prove anything, you naturally challenge what is false simply by choosing to live in truth. Perhaps you have already noticed that certain environments change the moment you arrive. Some people feel encouraged, inspired, or immediately drawn toward you, while others become uneasy without understanding the reason. These responses are not always about you personally. Often they reflect what your presence awakens within those around you. This is not simply your imagination. It is a reflection of the light you carry within your heart. Without speaking many words, your life has the ability to expose dishonesty, encourage sincerity, and remind others of truths they may have forgotten. The peace, integrity, and conviction growing inside you quietly reveal what cannot remain hidden forever. Because of this, your journey has often included resistance, misunderstanding, and moments when you questioned where you truly belonged. There were times when rejection made you wonder if something was wrong with you. Yet those experiences were never proof that you lacked value. They were signs that your path was always meant to be different. Not every place could recognize what was being formed within you, and not every person was prepared to understand the purpose you carry. Now a new season is unfolding. Instead of questioning why you stand apart, you are beginning to embrace the unique calling placed upon your life. The qualities that once made you feel different are becoming the very strengths that guide you forward. As you continue walking in truth, you will discover that your greatest influence does not come from striving to be accepted, but from remaining faithful to the light, purpose, and identity that have always been yours. Take a moment and gently like this video because it helps this truth reach others who are silently going through the same awakening as you. What you have experienced is not failure. It is preparation. Every delay, every closed door, every moment where you felt overlooked was shaping your awareness and strengthening your spirit. I have been guiding you through all of it, even when it felt like silence. The system wanted you to believe you were alone, but you were never alone, not for a single moment. The fear that the system has toward you is not based on what you have done. It is based on what you are capable of becoming once you fully step into your truth. It knows that once you stop doubting yourself, Once you stop shrinking your light, you become unstoppable in ways that cannot be measured by worldly standards. Your clarity becomes a weapon against deception, and your peace becomes something no external force can shake. There is a reason you feel different, a reason you cannot fully connect with the patterns that everyone else seems comfortable with. You were never meant to fit into a structure that was built to limit you. You were meant to rise above it, to see through it, and to live in a way that reflects truth rather than illusion. That difference you have felt your whole life is not a flaw. It is a sign of your calling. Type 777 if you trust God. As you continue to awaken, you will notice that certain things begin to fall away from your life. Relationships that once felt important may lose their hold. Environments that once felt normal may start to feel heavy or draining. This is not loss. This is alignment. I am removing what cannot go with you into the life you are being prepared for. The system fears your independence of thought, your ability to question, your refusal to blindly follow. It thrives on repetition and habit. But you are beginning to move with intention and awareness. You are no longer reacting. You are observing, understanding, and choosing your path with clarity. That shift alone makes you a threat to everything that depends on unconscious living. There will be moments when you feel tired, when the weight of everything you are realizing feels overwhelming. In those moments, remember that you are not carrying this alone. I am strengthening you, renewing your mind, and surrounding you with protection that you cannot always see, but is always present. You are being sustained in ways that go beyond what you can currently understand. The system cannot stop what I have placed inside you. It can try to distract you, discourage you, or delay you. But it cannot erase what has already been written into your spirit. You are marked by purpose, and that purpose is unfolding even in the smallest details of your daily life. Nothing you have gone through has been wasted. You may have wondered why certain people misunderstood you, why your intentions were often questioned, why your kindness was sometimes met with resistance. It is because your presence disrupts comfort zones. You reflect something deeper, something that others are not always ready to face within themselves. And instead of looking inward, they project outward. But do not let that discourage you. Your role is not to shrink so others can feel comfortable. Your role is to stand in truth, to walk in light, and to trust that everything is being aligned for your highest good. You are not here to blend in. You are here to transform, starting with your own life and extending into the lives of those who are ready to receive. The more you accept who you are, the less power the system has over you. Fear loses its grip. Doubt begins to fade, and clarity takes its place. You start to see things as they truly are, not as they are presented. And once you see clearly, you cannot go back to blindness. This is why your presence causes disruption. It is not chaos. It is truth being revealed. It is light entering places that have been hidden for too long. And while that may feel uncomfortable at times, it is necessary for the life you are stepping into. Why are so many people talking about the billionaire brainwave? A leading neuroscientist says it was identified during a private program based on CIA research. This 7-second ritual, confirmed by 4 neuroscience labs, helps align your thinking with better financial outcomes. Many are moving away from stress into improved lifestyles with dream homes, luxury cars, and the freedom to enjoy luxury vacations. But this discovery may be taken down soon. Click the link in the description and comments before it is gone. But even in those moments where you felt like giving up, Something inside you kept rising again. That something is not ordinary strength. It is the divine force I have placed within you. You have been trained through experience, not comfort. Every situation that tested your patience was shaping your endurance. Every moment of silence was teaching you to hear beyond noise. Every betrayal was refining your discernment. You were being equipped to see clearly in a world that thrives on confusion. And now that your eyes are opening, you are starting to recognize patterns that once felt invisible. Type 1111. If you believe the system fears your awareness more than anything else, it can handle strength, it can handle talent, but it cannot control someone who sees through its illusions. When you begin to understand how things truly work, you stop reacting the way it expects you to react. You become calm where others panic. You become focused where others get distracted. And in that stillness, you gain an advantage that no external system can replicate. There is a shift happening inside you, one that is changing the way you think, feel, and respond. You may have noticed that things that once entertained you no longer hold your attention. Conversations that once felt normal now feel shallow. This is not you becoming distant. This is you becoming aligned. You are moving into a higher level of awareness. And that naturally changes what you are drawn to. Do not be afraid of this change. Growth often feels like isolation at first, because you are leaving behind versions of yourself that can no longer support where you are going. But I am leading you into spaces where your spirit will feel understood, where your presence will be valued, and where your truth will not need to be hidden. Trust that what is leaving your life is making room for what truly belongs. The system will try to pull you back into old habits, old fears, and old ways of thinking. It will remind you of past failures. It will bring up voices that once made you feel small, but those voices do not define you. They were never meant to hold authority over your life. You are being called to rise above them, to stand in the truth of who you are becoming. Type yes to receive miracles. You are not the same person you used to be. Even if everything around you has not fully caught up to that reality yet, inside you, something has already shifted. Your thinking is clearer, your spirit is stronger, and your sense of direction is becoming more grounded. This is the beginning of a transformation that will continue to unfold in ways you cannot yet fully see. There will be moments when the path ahead feels uncertain. You may not always know the next step, and that can feel unsettling. But you do not need to see the entire path to move forward. You only need to trust the step you are being guided to take right now. I am leading you one step at a time. And each step is building something greater than you can currently imagine. The system depends on fear to maintain control. It needs people to feel unsure, to hesitate, to stay within boundaries that were never meant for them. But you are beginning to move differently. You are starting to act from a place of faith instead of fear, and that shift changes everything. It opens doors that logic alone cannot explain, and it creates opportunities that were once hidden from view. You have been protected in ways you may never fully understand. There were situations that could have gone very differently, but you were guided away from them. There were moments where something felt off, and you chose to step back without knowing why. That was not coincidence. That was protection. I have been watching over you, even in the moments you felt most vulnerable. The system cannot predict someone who is led by faith. It relies on patterns, on predictable behavior, on reactions that can be anticipated. But when you move with trust, when you listen to that quiet inner voice, You step outside of those patterns. You become unpredictable in a way that protects you and positions you for opportunities that others cannot access. There is also a strength growing inside you that is not loud, but steady. It is not about proving anything to anyone. It is about knowing within yourself who you are. That kind of strength cannot be shaken by opinions, by criticism, or by temporary setbacks. It is rooted in something deeper, something that cannot be taken away. You may still have moments where doubt tries to creep in. That is part of the process. But notice how quickly you recover now compared to before. Notice how you are able to catch those thoughts and shift your focus. That is growth. That is evidence that you are not where you used to be. The system is losing its influence over you piece by piece. The things that once controlled your emotions no longer have the same power. The fears that once held you back are starting to lose their grip. You are becoming more aware of your choices, more intentional with your actions, and more connected to your purpose. This is not something that can be reversed. Once you awaken to truth, you cannot unsee it. Once you feel this connection, you cannot pretend it is not there. You are moving forward. Even on days when it feels slow, even when it feels like nothing is changing, something inside you is still growing. You are being prepared for a level of clarity and influence that requires patience. Not everything can happen at once. There are lessons that must be learned, strengths that must be built, and understanding that must be developed. But every step you are taking is part of that preparation. Stay focused on what you are becoming, not on what you are leaving behind. The past served its purpose, but it does not define your future. You are stepping into something new, something that reflects who you truly are, not who you were told to be. What if the real reason most manifestation methods do not work has finally been explained? A top neuroscientist linked to CIA research says without the right brainwave, results stay inconsistent. This 7-second ritual, supported by 4 neuroscience labs, is helping people approach money differently and improve their direction. Many are now stepping into dream homes, buying luxury cars, and enjoying luxury vacations they once thought were out of reach. But this information might not stay available online. Click the link in the description and comments before it gets removed. Keep moving with quiet confidence. You do not need to announce your growth or seek validation for your path. What is meant for you will recognize you. What aligns with you will find you. And what is not meant for you will fall away without you needing to force it. I am with you in this process, guiding you, strengthening you, and protecting you, even when things feel uncertain, even when the path is not clear. You are not alone. You are being led in a way that goes beyond what you can currently see. You may have felt moments where everything seemed to slow down, where you started observing more than reacting. In those moments, you were stepping outside of the patterns that the system relies on. You were no longer moving automatically. You were choosing with awareness. That kind of presence is powerful, and it is something the system cannot easily influence. Type 2. 222. To receive miracles. The more aware you become, the more you will notice how certain distractions lose their hold on you. Things that once consumed your attention no longer feel important. You are beginning to value peace over noise, clarity over chaos, truth over comfort. This shift is not accidental. It is a sign that your spirit is aligning with something higher. You are being called into a level of discipline that is not forced, but natural. You are starting to protect your energy, to be more mindful of where you invest your time and attention. This is how your strength grows. Not through force, but through awareness. Every decision you make from this place builds a foundation that cannot easily be shaken. There is also a deep sense of knowing growing inside you. It may not always come with clear explanations, but it feels steady and certain. That knowing is your connection to me, guiding you in ways that go beyond logic. When you follow it, you move in alignment. When you ignore it, you feel the difference immediately. The system fears this connection because it cannot replicate it. It cannot control something that comes directly from a higher source. It tries to replace it with noise, with doubt, with endless distractions. But once you recognize that inner voice, once you begin to trust it, the noise starts to lose its power. You are not here to live in confusion. You are here to live with clarity, to move with purpose, and to walk in a way that reflects truth. That is why things that do not align with you begin to fall away. It is not punishment. It is protection. I am removing what cannot support your growth. Type 1212 if you trust in Jesus. There will be moments where you feel like you are standing alone. The path you are walking may not always be understood by others, but you are not alone in the way you think. I am with you, guiding you, strengthening you, and surrounding you with protection that does not depend on human understanding. The system often uses isolation as a tool, trying to make you feel disconnected, so you will return to old patterns. But your solitude is not emptiness. It is preparation. It is a space where you can hear clearly, where you can grow without interference, and where your identity can be strengthened without distraction. You are learning to rely less on external validation and more on internal truth. This is a powerful shift. When you no longer need approval to move forward, you become free in a way that cannot be controlled. Your decisions become rooted in purpose, not pressure. There is also a level of courage rising within you. It may not always feel strong, but it shows up when you need it. It is there when you choose to speak truth instead of staying silent. It is there when you walk away from what no longer serves you. It is there when you continue forward, even when the outcome is uncertain. The system cannot easily influence someone who is guided by truth and strengthened by faith. It depends on doubt, on hesitation, on fear of the unknown. But you are beginning to move beyond those limitations. You are stepping into a space where your actions are guided by something deeper. You may still have moments where you question your path. That is part of the process. Growth does not remove uncertainty completely, but it changes how you respond to it. Instead of stopping, you continue forward with trust. Instead of giving in to fear, you move with faith. Your journey is not about perfection. It is about alignment. It is about becoming more aware of who you are and moving in a way that reflects that truth. Every step you take in alignment strengthens your connection and weakens the influence of anything that tries to control you. You are also becoming more sensitive to energy. You can feel when something is right and when something is not. You can sense when a situation aligns with your path and when it does not. This sensitivity is not weakness. It is awareness. It allows you to navigate your life with greater clarity. The system tries to numb this awareness to make people ignore what they feel. But you are learning to listen, to trust, and to act on that inner guidance. This is how you stay aligned. This is how you move forward with confidence. There is a quiet strength in you that continues to grow. It is not about proving anything to anyone. It is about knowing within yourself that you are on the right path. That knowing becomes your foundation. It keeps you steady when everything around you feels uncertain. You are not being rushed. Everything is unfolding at the right pace. There are things you need to understand, strengths you need to build, and clarity you need to develop. Trust that the timing is working in your favor. Even when it does not feel that way, the system operates on urgency and pressure, trying to push you into decisions that are not aligned. But you are learning to slow down, to observe, and to choose wisely. That patience is part of your power. It allows you to move with intention instead of reaction. Have you heard about the growing discussion surrounding a group of neuroscientists exploring the connection between brainwave patterns and financial thinking? According to a leading researcher, the work was inspired by studies reportedly linked to CIA research that remained outside public attention for years. From those findings came a brief 7-second practice, said to have been examined by 4 neuroscience laboratories and now being used by people in their own homes. Many who have tried it claim they have transformed their financial outlook, moving toward dream homes, luxury vehicles, and the freedom to enjoy extraordinary vacations. Because this information may not remain available indefinitely, now may be the best time to explore it for yourself. If you want to learn more, visit the link in the video description and the pinned comments before access is no longer available. At the same time, you are entering a level of awareness that cannot simply be erased. Once your eyes have opened to a deeper truth, returning to the confusion of the past becomes impossible. A new understanding has taken root within you, and it continues to shape the way you see yourself, your purpose, and the path unfolding before you. Once this connection has been awakened, it is not something you can ignore. Even during seasons that seem quiet or slow, progress is still taking place beneath the surface. I remain with you through every step, leading you when uncertainty appears, strengthening your heart when doubt tries to rise, and protecting you in countless ways that may not always be visible. You have never walked this journey by yourself. Even in the moments when you felt isolated, guidance remained close beside you. Continue trusting what is growing within your spirit. Continue paying attention to the quiet wisdom that speaks to your heart. Continue moving forward, even when every detail of the road ahead has not yet been revealed. You are being led toward a future that is greater than anything you have experienced before. This is not a passing emotion or a temporary moment of inspiration. It is a lasting transformation that is becoming part of your character, changing the way you think, live, and respond to the world around you. What is taking place within you is permanent, and that lasting change naturally creates resistance whenever old patterns attempt to reclaim their place. Perhaps you have already noticed how certain challenges seem to appear just as you begin feeling stronger and more at peace. The moment clarity settles into your mind, confusion tries to return. The moment your heart becomes calm, something unexpected attempts to disturb that peace. These moments are not meant to convince you that you are failing. They are reminders that the old ways no longer fit the person you are becoming. Those familiar patterns are making one final attempt to draw you back into fear, uncertainty, and distraction. Yet you are no longer the same person who once responded to them. Every challenge you overcome strengthens your confidence. Every choice rooted in truth deepens your peace. And every faithful step moves you further into the life that has been prepared for you. The transformation unfolding within you is real, lasting, and powerful, and nothing that belongs to your past can prevent you from becoming the person you were always meant to be. But what it does not realize is that you are no longer the same person who would fall for those patterns without awareness. Type 1010 to receive blessings. You are starting to pause before reacting. You are starting to observe before speaking. You are beginning to choose your responses instead of being controlled by your emotions. That shift alone is powerful, and it changes the direction of your life in ways that may not be immediately visible, but are deeply significant. Every moment you choose awareness over reaction, you step further into your true strength. There is also a new level of peace growing inside you, one that does not depend on external conditions, even when things around you feel uncertain. There is a quiet steadiness within you. That peace is not accidental. It is a sign that your connection is strengthening, that you are learning to rely on something deeper than circumstances. The system does not understand this kind of peace. It depends on chaos, on urgency, on emotional reactions. When you remain calm in situations that once would have shaken you, you step outside of its influence. You become stable in a way that cannot be manipulated. And that stability is something the system cannot easily disrupt. You may still experience moments of frustration, moments where things do not seem to move as quickly as you would like. But even in those moments, something inside you is different. You do not stay stuck in frustration the way you once did. You move through it more quickly, you regain your focus, and you continue forward. That is growth, even if it feels small. Type 777 if you trust God. There is also a deeper level of discernment developing within you. You are beginning to see beyond words, beyond appearances, beyond surface-level interactions. You can sense intentions more clearly. You can feel when something aligns with your spirit and when it does not. This is not something to ignore. This is a gift that is helping you navigate your path with greater clarity. The system often relies on appearances, on things looking a certain way on the outside, while hiding something else beneath. But your discernment cuts through that. You are not easily misled anymore. You are not easily convinced by what does not feel right. And that makes you difficult to control. You are also learning to trust your timing. There was a time when you may have felt rushed, when you felt like you needed to keep up with others or meet certain expectations. But now you are beginning to move at your own pace. You are starting to understand that your path is unique, and it cannot be compared to anyone else's. This understanding brings a sense of freedom. You no longer feel the same pressure to follow paths that do not align with you. You are becoming more comfortable choosing what feels right. Even if it looks different from what others are doing, that confidence is growing, even if it is still quiet. The system cannot predict someone who is not trying to fit into its expectations. It depends on patterns, on people following certain routes, on predictable behavior. But you are stepping outside of that. You are choosing based on alignment, not pressure. And that makes your path your own. There is also a level of patience being built within you. You are learning to wait without losing faith. You are learning to trust that what is meant for you will come at the right time. This is not passive waiting. It is active trust. It is continuing to grow, to prepare, to align. Even when you do not see immediate results, this patience strengthens you in ways that quick results never could. It builds a foundation that is steady and lasting. It prepares you to handle what is coming, not just receive it, because what is ahead of you requires strength, clarity, and understanding. You are not being delayed. You are being prepared. There are things that need to be aligned before certain doors open. There are lessons that need to be learned before certain opportunities appear. This is not about holding you back. This is about making sure you are ready to step into what is meant for you without losing your balance. The system may try to make you feel like you are behind, like you are missing out, like you are not moving fast enough. But those thoughts are not truth. They are distractions. Your path is unfolding exactly as it needs to, even if it does not match what you see around you. You are also becoming more aware of your energy. You are noticing what drains you and what strengthens you. You are starting to make choices that protect your peace. Even if those choices are not always easy, this awareness is part of your growth. It allows you to stay aligned instead of being pulled in different directions. Is it really possible to attract money more naturally using a 7-second ritual? Research connected to the CIA suggests certain brainwave states influence how opportunities appear in your life. This technique, proven by 4 neuroscience labs, is helping people shift away from financial pressure toward improved lifestyles. Many are now stepping into dream homes, driving luxury cars, and enjoying luxury vacations. But this information may not remain online for long. Click the link in the description and comments before it disappears. There is a quiet confidence building within you. It is not loud. It is not something you feel the need to prove. It is simply there, steady and growing. It shows up in the way you carry yourself, in the way you speak, in the way you make decisions, and it continues to strengthen with every step you take. You are not here to be controlled by fear, by doubt, or by expectations that do not belong to you. You are here to live with clarity, to move with purpose, and to trust the path that is unfolding before you. That trust is becoming stronger, even if you are still learning how to fully embrace it. I am with you in every step of this journey. I see your effort, your growth, your quiet moments of strength. Nothing you are going through is unseen. Nothing you are building is unnoticed. Everything is being shaped with intention. Keep moving forward, even when it feels slow. Keep trusting, even when things are not fully clear. Keep choosing alignment, even when it is not the easiest path. You are becoming who you were always meant to be. This is not something that happened overnight, and it is not something that came without challenge. It has been built slowly through everything you have experienced. Every moment of growth. Every time you chose to rise instead of staying down. And now, that inner foundation is becoming stronger than anything external. You may have noticed that you no longer react the same way to situations that once triggered you deeply. There is a pause now, a space between what happens and how you respond. In that space, you are choosing differently. You are no longer being pulled into cycles that once felt unavoidable. This is not weakness. This is control. And it is a level of control that comes from awareness, not force. Type 222 to claim miracles. The system cannot easily influence someone who has learned to pause and choose. It relies on quick reactions, on emotional impulses, on patterns that repeat without awareness. But you are stepping outside of that. You are creating space for clarity, for understanding, and for intentional action. That space is where your power grows, even if it does not always feel dramatic. There is also a deeper sense of identity forming within you. You are no longer defining yourself based on external validation or temporary situations. You are starting to understand who you are at your core, independent of what is happening around you. This understanding is quiet, but it is strong. It does not need to be announced to be real. As this identity becomes clearer, you will notice that certain things no longer feel necessary. You are not seeking approval in the same way. You are not trying to prove your worth in the same ways. You are becoming more comfortable simply being who you are. That comfort is a form of freedom that cannot be taken away. The system fears this kind of freedom because it cannot control someone who is not seeking validation from it. It cannot influence someone who is grounded in their own truth. And as you continue to grow in this understanding, its influence over you continues to weaken. Type yes to receive miracles. You are also learning to trust your decisions more deeply. There was a time when you may have second-guessed yourself constantly, when you looked outside for confirmation before taking action. But now you are beginning to move with more confidence. You still reflect, you still consider, but you are no longer frozen by doubt. This trust is not blind. It is built on your experiences, on everything you have learned, on the way you have grown through challenges. You have seen yourself handle situations you once thought you could not handle. You have seen yourself recover from things that once felt overwhelming. That evidence is now part of your foundation. There is a quiet strength in knowing that you can face what comes next. Even if you do not know exactly what it will be, you are not trying to control every outcome anymore. You are learning to move forward with faith, knowing that you will be guided as you go. That shift removes a heavy weight from your spirit. The system often uses uncertainty to create fear. It presents the unknown as something to avoid, something to be anxious about. But you are beginning to see the unknown differently. You are beginning to look at life through a different lens. What once appeared to be uncertainty now feels like an open space filled with new possibilities, fresh growth, and opportunities waiting to emerge. This change in perspective is quietly transforming the way you live each day. Instead of remaining hesitant, you are finding the courage to move ahead. Instead of resisting what is unfamiliar, you are learning to welcome the changes that lead you towards something greater. As you embrace this new outlook, doors begin to appear that you may never have noticed before. Possibilities that once seemed hidden are becoming easier to recognize because your heart is no longer focused on fear. You are also becoming much more aware of how your energy is being invested. You can now clearly sense which people, places, and conversations leave you exhausted and which ones encourage your growth, strengthen your spirit, and bring genuine peace. This is not about withdrawing from the world. It is about living in greater alignment with the life you are meant to build. So often, the world encourages constant busyness and endless demands that leave people emotionally drained and spiritually disconnected. But you are discovering the importance of protecting your time, your attention, and your inner peace. You understand now that your energy is one of your greatest gifts, and where you choose to invest it will shape the direction of your future. This growing awareness helps you remain steady even when everything around you seems uncertain. At the same time, a deeper patience is taking root within your heart. You no longer feel compelled to rush every outcome or force every opportunity to happen immediately. Instead, you are learning to trust the natural unfolding of each season, believing that what is meant for you will arrive at the right moment. That does not mean you have become passive or unwilling to act. On the contrary, you have become far more intentional. You take meaningful action whenever it is needed. Yet you also know when to step back and allow life to unfold without unnecessary pressure. This harmony between wise action and quiet trust has become one of your greatest strengths, allowing you to move forward with consistency instead of exhaustion. Because of this balance, you remain grounded, even while life continues to change around you. Challenges may still appear, but they no longer have the power to shake your foundation the way they once did. You stay connected to your purpose, trusting that every step is leading you closer to the future that has been prepared for you. There will still be moments when familiar fears or old patterns try to return. Doubt may occasionally whisper the same stories it once used to hold you back. Yet something is different now. Those thoughts no longer control your heart. You recognize them sooner, understand them more clearly, and release them with greater ease than ever before. That is the evidence of real transformation. Progress is not the absence of challenges, it is the growing ability to face them without losing your peace. Every time you choose truth over fear, confidence over hesitation, and purpose over distraction, you become stronger. With each passing day, you are moving farther from the person you used to be and closer to the life you were always created to live.